They'll be calling you a radical. This is going to be a very, very important video, and I'm going to have to explain because this is complex to understand. This is literally, for real, the bank bailout on Balco. Now, people are saying, oh, I mean, I live in the United States. I've got to pay this, or Canada, I've got to pay this, or anywhere. How am I possibly paying for something in Japan? Oh, you're paying. And I said this over and over and over. This was going to happen. This was going to happen. Number one, nobody's going to rush in. That's all fucking shiny bullshit. Oh, Russia wants to help, and then you read the rest of the article. It's a handout giveaway to nuclear companies. i.a.e.a, the French government, one that's almost bankrupt. When I was at the UN, this is so important, when I was at the i.a.e.a in Vienna, when I was there, scheduled for when, Western Initiative for Nuclear, the whole thing trying to move the nuclear waste, where the deer and the antelope used to play in Kazakhstan. That's where Bill Clinton, the whole shakedown goes through the emails, through Hillary. It all's nuclear. I'm here to tell you. Someday, it takes a long time, someday all you in the streets activists, someday that light will get there and you'll say, oh my God, he was right. At the top of the heap, it's all roads lead to nuclear. So, the big cash cow, the evil. I'm like, I told Sandra, why is he speaking here? The CEO of i.a.e.a, the French, why? And she's like, yeah. And then I says, oh, now we know. Came out yesterday, 2 days ago. Fucking bailouts. The company's going bankrupt. One grassroots activist, by the way, in Finland. I hope to get to Helsinger sometime and meet him. He took him on by himself, and that thing didn't happen. And so, but the way it works, the UN has all the money, all the power, and it was set up Atlantic Conference, remember, no rules. The i.a.e.a, where there's over 3,000 employees in there, of the 8,000, the International Atomic Energy Association hijacked the UN, 1959. They did it through the fucking whole fear of the Cold War. They got it, lock, stock, barrel, so they have all the money. It's turned into the most corrupt organization in the history of humankind by hundreds and hundreds of times. I want you to look up the subsidy under Price-Anderson. Well, that's just the lack of any liability that flows into it. Under the Patriot Act, under the TPP, that law could flow in internationally, which it already is international law. So what happens now, they haven't done anything to fucking Fukushima. Fukushima, they just pushed into the Pacific Ocean and murdered the Pacific Ocean, and they don't give a fuck. You think these fuckers give a fuck? They're murdering the Pacific Ocean, killing fucking millions of people. They don't care. And if you think they do, you know nothing about history. It's so important that I was standing there, right there on the 200th anniversary of Waterloo. It's so important. Because remember at Waterloo, Napoleon, the anti-royal guy, the French changed the calendar, the French Revolution, it was over. It was over. The royals were done. There were no monarchies left on this earth. They were going to be fucking done. What happened? They called in their inbred cousins from Russia. So what they've done, France, i.a.e.a, they bailed them out. You. So look up Price-Anderson. Look up the government subsidy for nuclear. It's fucking hundreds of times any other. Right here in Utah, the Deseret News, who's the mouthpiece for the fucking hijacked Mormon church fucking robbers who make $1 million. Mormon church so-called leaders and apostles make millions of dollars a year. It was leaked out by a guy. You still don't care. Joel Osteen, Jesus died, sorry, breaks. They've hijacked everything. It's all a pyramid scheme. America's a pyramid scheme. Oh, always was. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. We fought back. Well, what was Gandhi's? I love Gandhi's great quote. Oh boy, isn't that it? And I got news for you. Fukushima's not going away. And it's hardcore fuckers, you softballers, you false equivalency, you third-grade hall fucking monitors, you people fucking go out. We're not going away. I mean, they're going to play fucking hardball with Bob Gibson on the fucking mound in fucking Kansas and throw at our heads. I'm fucking going to stand in the fucking box. I'm not, like I told my doctor when I looked at it, I'm not going down on a call third strike. I'll go down fucking swinging. I'm not playing softball with these fucking rats. I'm going to fucking get them right in their fucking guts. Right where they, right in their fucking bank account. Fuck these fuckers and their money. That's all they care about. Don't you understand? These fucking rich, sickening, they trumped fucking health, life, fucking future, children, everything. They are fucking already fucking gave that all up. For money. They're sick. They're intoxicated. They're higher than any fucking heroin high in history. They're fucking on a fucking trip. So they got all the money. Patriot Act on Balco. So the bank bailout, this is millions of times. So the French companies got their hands. There's lots of American companies already got their hands in it. Now, Toshiba bought Westinghouse, right? Then why do they still call Westinghouse? Why does Hillary Clinton go to Czechoslovakia? I stood right there, right where she stood. In the Czech Republic. And threatened him. Oh, you'll give that. There's a leaking reactor on the. I was there. There's a leaking reactor on the border in the Czech Republic. Media doesn't tell us. Well, let's see. Nuclear Broadcasting Cancer. Who are they? Rupert House. They own all the fucking media. Look up the board of directors on all the media. Now it falls back into the IOC. Yes. Yes. The International Olympic Committee and the International Atomic Energy are the exact identical. It's all done in cash. I was there. I witnessed it. They come out with these big brown sacks. There's only one way, and I caught them off guard. There ain't nobody ever protests over there. I got permission to protest over there. So they get off the subway, walk around. They're scared of their own fucking shadow because there's been no resistance movement. None. It's been softball. Oh, Jay, just wanted to tell the good news of Fukushima. Let's check the weather pop. It's all false equivalency. It's all fucking passive-aggressive bullshit. They fucking feed on it. They love it. They laugh, by the way. They fucking laugh. There's no threat to them. So now these companies are rushing in. They're not going to do anything. They're like consulting contracts through the banks. Everybody says how this is going to play out. You know, I call myself Cassandra's son. I've been so able to hypothesize. Did a video at gold on 1900, tell you to get out. Did videos at 48 on silver. They're right there, all over my site. Yeah, but you can't handle that. You can't, because you don't want the fucking truth. Because everybody's eating so many dogma burgers. They're so fucking branded. I mean, now I've got literally hundreds of thousands of dollars bets all over the internet that they read, including Max Kaiser, right in the streets of Manhattan. He flipped a coin with his own thing on it, and I bet him that silver would be under 20 before it would be 200. $10,000. Oh, he ain't gonna pay. None of them are going to pay, because they're all phonies, you know. That's what you think the internet is. You think it's a chat room, play fucking thing. Fucking, you can do whatever fucking bullshit. It's the most powerful genre in the fucking reference library. It's amazing fucking powerful genre. You know, Kevin's got 1,870. Fucking, I'd really like to have about 4,000, to be honest with you. You know, as the artist Picasso. You know, I mean, it is what it is. So, they have all the money. So now they're just handing fucking contracts out. Your money. Yes, you, the American. This is fucking dwarfs. The nuclear fucking shakedown, the money that flows into these fuckers fucking dwarfs the fucking bank bailout. You know, we did some work on it a long time ago. Now, the bank bailout, these fucking robbing thief fuckers got about $50,000 for every man, woman, and child in the country. Now, you think about that. They looted the country. And by definition, they looted the country. And the free market fairy tales, the shiny fucking stick, shiny ball, go get the fucking sticker over shit. Oh, Barack Obama birther. Fucking Keystone fucking pipe. That means you just throw the fucking stick out to you. And you go for it. You know, it's unbelievable how they fucking shiny ball you. So, we did work this, you know, when I was working on my first PhD. By the way, my PhD is real. My PhD is real in the open, as I did that video about Aaron Swartz. It's real. That's what he was all about. He was like, how can you fucking be awarding PhDs doing all this thing when it's non-transparent, when we're fucking funding all this taxpayer? So that's what I've been up to. I fucking says, I'm going to do the most fucking open PhD. Now, did I think Fukushima was going to happen? I always hypothesized that it would, but right then, did I fucking think that I would get fucking leukemia? I hypothesized that I might. But right then, here, fucking the most transparent PhD, and you can't wrap your mind around that. Because you've eaten so many dog burgers, you can't wrap your mind that they've hijacked all academia. They've hijacked all media. They've got it all. It's simple. It really doesn't matter if there's fucking 700 billion. The fucking sheep of all went along. You want to be on the winning fucking team. You want to join this club because the fucking playbook, the dogma burgers, you're in your dogma snuggie. It isn't the pain in the soup can. See, I didn't paint the soup can, but then you have to paint the fucking soup can. I painted the fucking soup can. You have to create a new knowledge, a new art, a new way to think. That's what I did. That's what a PhD is. Fucking Latin. You know? My God. They hijack it all. Antebellum, fucking, wow. Alma maters? I don't think so. I mean, they just hijacked it. They locked it up behind closed doors so they can control it. You know, so now they're just feeding these fucking monsters. They're just fucking, the vultures are on the beach just going fucking mad, and you're feeding your own death. They don't care. They're like, you try to have conversation, well, you know, this will give you leukemia. Oh, no. That's the arrogance of this. They're so fucking drunk on fucking greed, they can't see. They're fucking higher than the Georgia fucking pine. Where'd you sleep last night? I slept in the dead fucking pine. You know that's where that song comes from, the Georgia pines. You know, as they laid It's a real African-American, well, story, slave story in Georgia. They laid his head on the tracks and fucking mowed his head off while she ran and hid in the pines. You know, they've hijacked the literature, they've hijacked the media. It's all club. It's pay to play. By the way, I've been working, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's always write me a big check. You know, the so-called anti-NUKE, write me a big check. You had a guy like me trying to fucking raise chump change that does all the fucking work. You know, we do the fucking work, we fucking, and then fucking these fucking rats in fucking third grade, they go after us like monsters. When Greenpeace raises how much fucking money a day? They do nothing. How much do you donate to Holstein or your fucking megachurch? What do they do besides preach fucking war from the pulpit? But they're okay. NFL nonprofit, that's okay. Fucking, he paid himself fucking $45 million fucking last year. The owners are billionaires. The NCAA paid themselves $9 billion last year. But that's okay. That's all. But a fucking grassroots guy full of leukemia fighting for his life, fuck him. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, fuck me. Like Gandhi said. You know, he said it. They'll fucking laugh at you. They'll attack you, whatever. Fucking, he'll say then you win, but you know what happened to him in the end. They even murdered him. I mean, wow. What a fucking, I mean, to take this on in a fucking hardcore way, there's only a few that got the fucking courage to do it. I've known that. You know, my cousin always says, he says, you're just like your dad. You know, he says, you're fearless. I says, I have to be. You know, the people that came before him, and my dad was fearless. They killed him, the anti-nuclear activists. They murdered him, literally murdered him. I mean, these people don't give a fuck. And the American populace goes away. So now they're just feeding from the trough. They fucking, this is i.a.e.a. handout. Oh, we're going to go into fucking Fukushima. They did the same thing at Chernobyl. Chernobyl's still sitting there without a scuff over the top of it. To this, I saw bootleg videos when I was in Vienna of them hauling out fucking scrap metal. There's people going in there, scrap metal, dumping on the world. It's all fucking a fucking masquerade party, smoke screen. It's a shakedown. These fucking money, oh, Russia's going to move in. No, they're not. Read, it's a company that's getting a big fucking chunk from the i.a.e.a, which you funded, from the UN. I mean, billions. They got so much fucking money. You know, it's all, I watched, as they walk out of the fucking i.a.e.a, and they have these big brown pants. I was like, what the fuck's in the brown pants? And then I talked to a guy. He says, oh, everything's tax-free in there. Everything's fucking so fucking cheap. They have grocery stores. It's a city. They pay, did you know, you work there, you pay no taxes? None. Zero. Not Austrian tax, not European fucking tax, not fucking nothing. I mean, it's so abstract from fucking the reality. It's, you know, just like your free market fairy tales. We're going to give people 37 cents an hour slaves. That's okay. You know, we're all going to serve hamburgers and we're all okay because it's frog boiling 101. So here we go. This fucking bailout, we did work a long time ago. Me and a couple other, you know, MBAs and a PhD. And myself, and we figured out that the nuclear energy was shaking down about $30,000 a year per person in the United States then, clear back then. So the Deseret News comes out, the mouthpiece for the Mormon Church, says, California's producing so much solar they have nowhere to put it. So everybody wants to have this tired old argument because they heard it fucking, they watched 3 fucking YouTube videos and some dogma and saw something, and they just regurgitate it. Repeat after me, repeat after me, repeat after me. Oh, fuck this. Fuck, solar took the field a long time ago. These legislative bodies who are for sale block it. Because there's no, I can prove it. Like the Western Initiative for Nuclear in fucking Utah, I'm in this Idaho fucking state capital, I'm the Utah state, I'm the only activist there. The only fucking one. And I'm talking to state senators, they don't know. They don't fucking know. They're, what? Western, they can't do that. That's against state law. Right. You know, the fucking ex-governor, Cecil fucking Andrews from Idaho, filed suit against them. You know, I'm battling these fuckers on a lot of fronts. But fuck, God forbid, I fucking even have enough money to fucking live on. It's unbelievable, you know. Fuck, please. When I was in New York, I got fucking both my ex-fucking hedge fund fucking jobs offered back to me. They know how accurate I'm in. They watch my fucking videos. They know me. They're like, my God, you call fucking gold to the top, silver to the fucking top. I fucking had people right here on this Utah site buy thousands and thousands of shares of Tesla at fucking $12. That's what paid for my bone marrow transplant in the bone marrow transplant unit for all those days. Of course it fucking broke me. The bill was $1.8 million, but it's paid. You know, so I want to be an activist and I want to keep going on. I want to keep doing what I'm fucking doing. Fuck. You know, and you got these rats, these fucking trolls, these fucking sicko wannabe motherfuckers. I'm an artist. I know that it takes the artist to flip this fucking culture, but I'm one educated artist. I got an amazing financial background. Wow. I was trading cattle futures at 14 fucking years old. Caleb, fucking east of Eden, Tim Shell, Almayest. Wow. I grew up in those fucking pits. I grew up on a huge cattle ranch in the fucking great cattle fucking city of America. That's where I was raised. You know, I've got so much experience. I'm the guy for this fucking, of course, in spite that I was born to set this right. My fucking father being nuked to death in the Nevada test site. My path, my fucking journey. Look, I'm here to tell you. You better fucking get all over this right now. Right fucking now. You could be sitting fucking bitching about this later. Naomi Klein, Chris Hedges will write a fucking book 5 years from now. Say, oh, The Big Short. Fuck, please. You short it when it's going to happen. So, I was asked yesterday, how do you think this plays out? My intuitive mind. Well, I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it. I think it plays out with an earthquake in the United States. That's how I think it plays out. I think it plays out at Diablo Canyon and Sun Lafferty. And I think it'll be the most catastrophic event, fucking even bigger than fucking Fukushima. Well, I don't know how you trump that. You know, it already happened. The catastrophic, it's called 3/11/11. Everything changed. Everything's changed. Everything's mutated. Everything's fucking different. Everything's fucking changed. You know, you can't answer everything, but too blind to see the writing on the wall. I was not ready for the fucking fall. The light, it shines inside of me. You will never take that from me, and I'll keep fucking fighting on. But this is a major, major fucking deal. They're not going over there, and they're not going to do anything, because they can't. Don't you see? That's the problem. There's no turn-off switch on this. So they answer all this. I know for a fact all the spent fuel pool or rods at number 4 are in the ocean. That's been their answer the whole time. They just dump it in the fucking ocean. Over. They don't give a fuck what they kill the ocean. They don't care. They don't care. They're just like, fuck, Barry Antoinette's a sociopath. You know, Barack Obama's a sociopath. They found him, just like Bill Walmart Clinton is fucking, you know, Bill Walmart Clinton's bastard son. I mean, skull and bones, they all go. Abe goes to MIT Media Lab, same place where Aaron Swartz tried to warn you. Michael Hastings tried to warn you. Snowden tried to warn you. Everybody tries to fucking warn you, but you've eaten so many dogma burgers, you choose up. You know, I don't give a fuck. This isn't a popularity contest. I don't give a fuck about your softball bullshit. I'm going to fight these fuckers. You know, and I'm going to win in the end. You watch. Watch, we're gonna fucking win this fight. We're already winning this fight. We've come fucking so far in 4 years. The Earth's already lost. You know? The damage fucking done. Oh, fuck, it just keeps... Oh, they're not gonna rush in. They're not gonna do anything. The United States Department of Energy, Yalta by the Sea, the United States Department of Energy runs this country. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America. When are you gonna wake up and realize that this fucking country has been looted? And they're the fucking looters. Same people that own the banks own the fucking nuclear reactors. Hi, I'm Bill Gates. I think if we ran myself, or he owns nuclear reactors. He owns Westlake. It's on fire. And then they just skirt out, go park their money offshore. It's a fucking looting. These are fucking criminals, and you just go along in your dogma. Oh, free market fairy tale. Johnny got your gun. And by the way, I have literally millions of dollars worth of bet. Millions of dollars worth of bet. That I bet when gold was in the 16s and 17s would go under 1,000 before it went to 3,500. And you know who you are. And there's thousands of you. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. I tell you what, get out fucking now. Because these oligarchs that don't go, when it goes under 1,000, you're going to see a rush for the doors. And it's fucking knocking on the door. I mean, it was such a fear fucking bubble. The fear bubble and these fear porn fuckers, you know, they went along with it. Who do you think was selling you the gold? Who do you think owns the gold standard? Yeah, the Rothschilds and the Queen invented the gold standard. They love it. You know, fuck, who do you think owns gold mines? Who do you think owns the uranium mines? Who do you think fucking builds the fucking guns? Who do you think makes the fucking guns? Who do you think profits for the guns? Who do you think makes the bullets? Who do you think fucking owns the silver? Silver's so fucking common, it's unfucking believable. So is gold, like fucking diamonds. Rhodesia. You've been fucking had, and you fucking play along because of your dogma and your fear. The fear bubble's gonna fucking burst. You know? This is a fucking shakedown. You better get all over it. All fucking anti-nuclear fighters. All hands on deck. All bank bell out on Balco. Stand tuned.